Hello，大家好，欢迎回来我们的频
Hello，
道，这里是
嗯，
Shuu Sleep to Taiwan，华丽教到台湾，我是亲
嗯，
姑。
然后我是 Ivory，
我们教一点，
聊一点
学一点英文 English，
English。
耶、好的，那请问 Ivory，我们今天的主题是什么呢？
Okay, so today we are going to talk about Webtoons Manhwa in English. And today we chose a webtoon called Princess Hurricane. So first
Oh.
we're going to talk about why we chose this webtoon. And then we will explain to you guys a bit what happens in the story.
哇哦，太
嗯
好了！我们今天要用英文来聊漫画，然后聊的
嗯，
呢，我这边不小心打错了，这个中文打
哦，
错了，
怎么了？
我中文打到内向男女了。
哦，内
对，
向男女，
这个请大家忽
没关系。
视它，那是我们上一个那个
对，
中文练
上一
习的，
集，
对，
对，
但是下面是对的，Princess Hurricane 这里是对的，
嗯嗯，
对，好
对，上
的，
面的是另一部漫画。
没错，请忽略上面的，把它假装没看到。哎，对，好，那我们
好，
先来说说它的为什么我们选了这一部漫画吧。
嗯，好
Alright. Oh, it's me. It's my turn, right?
对
Sorry, pardon me, okay? I choose the
，OK，
manhwa called Princess Hurricane. Let me tell you the story. Okay, first thing first. After our live stream every Monday, we always have a meeting to discuss our topics. After, when Ivory showed me how to change my webtoon to English, I was typing the name of her recommendations. And I was like, okay, I'm lazy. And why don't I read a manhwa that I had researched earlier? That's why I
嗯，
started reading Princess Hurricane.
哦，so because of laziness, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I also did something similar. So now let's talk about a little bit on what Princess Hurricane is and what happens in the story. I think it's a very funny story. That's why I recommended it to Qinggu. But basically, what happens is that one day, a child who used to be a weak coward, he transfers to an all-boys school. So that means that there are only boys in this school. However, when he grew up and came to the school, he wasn't a weak coward anymore. He wasn't scared of anything, and he became a very, very strong thug. A thug is like someone from the streets that looks like they could beat you up. So he becomes very good at hitting others and fighting, and he becomes the number one fighter in his old district. And when he transfers, he hears a lot of exaggerated rumors about himself. People say, oh, the new thug transferred, blah, blah, blah. But he then finds out that this was just his misunderstanding because there's another student that is coming at the same time. And actually, everybody is talking about the other student, who's a tall guy with some purple hair. There, when he goes to the school, he meets the tall guy and then some class 2 top fighter because in that school they separate like the ranks depending on how good you are at fighting and within the classes. So the top fighter in class number 2 came out and tried to start a fight with the purple haired guy. But when he gets punched, something really weird happens, and it's that the purple hair guy thug, he turns into a girl and he becomes a really pretty and slim girl who looks like a flower. She's very tender and very sweet. And yeah, this is Princess Lily. And the thug exchanged his souls and bodies with a princess. Is it a curse? We don't know that yet. But fun fact, now Princess Lily needs to study in the all-boy fighting school, while the thug has to marry his Prince Charming in a kingdom. So now that they both have amnesia, meaning they can't remember what happened before or who they are, how are they supposed to go back to their own world? That's the big question. And this is Princess Hurricane in English Webtoons format. So if you guys are interested, there's going to be a link down below so you guys can go check it out.
Yeah, but I have a question.
Mm.
How to spell Doug?
Thug. That's Thug.
A Thug. A thug.
Thug. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Recalled me. That recalled me. I
That appears a lot in the website.
Yeah, I researched this word before, but I forgot. Totally forgot.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Today we're gonna look at vocabulary that appears in the first 3 chapters, I think,
Yes.
of Princess Hurricane. So if you guys are going to read it after, it's gonna be a good introduction so that you understand everything that is happening. Okay, let's start then. Okay, Chingu, would you like to start with the first one?
Sure. Okay, the first one I think is the most difficult for me. If you wanna pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay. The first one is do you want me to pronounce it?
Exaggerated, right?
Yeah.
Exaggerated.
Yes.
Okay.
The real way to spell it is the one that is on the top, exaggerated, double G. That's how you write it correctly. But it sounds like a J. That's why we put the parentheses down there. Exaggerated.
Exaggerated. Yes. Okay. It means something that is described or chatted by people, and what they are talking about is actually far away from fact. And
so from the real thing.
Yeah, for instance, some people believe they are so many experts who can communicate with their pets, not even through a photo or in person. It's kind of exaggerated for me.
Oh.
And also, we have a second sentence. Yeah.
We have a lot of sentences.
Yes. Today. Some dangerous rumors, and in ancient Chinese empire, tombs are tombs are not exaggerated. You must be careful if you have to enter their tomb.
Yeah, I've heard about this too. The next sentence, the next vocabulary word is something that Chingu learned before, and it's to get amnesia.
Yeah.
I think this is when somebody loses all their memories or forgets who they are. Usually it happens because in dramas we see it a lot from car crashes or from brain damage of some sort. So it happens a lot of dramas, but I have never seen it actually happen in real life. Only old people, maybe. They have a little bit of it. Oh, Chingu, you have to change the slide to the next one. Okay. So getting amnesia, usually, it's, when somebody has really bad trauma to the brain, you can say, oh, he has severe amnesia, or he got amnesia temporarily. He forgets who he is, like who his friends are, or what is he doing there, that kind of stuff. So our sentence today is that we could see often that main female or male characters in K-dramas, Korean dramas, when they get hit by a car or they get into a car crash, they actually end up with amnesia. However, fun fact, in real life, I have never met anyone with really bad amnesia who forgot who they were or their family were. We just see it sometimes in older people. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So I think that's very funny.
Yeah.
You just see it in dramas.
Yeah. It never happened in our real life.
Yeah. But there's no need to try it out. Don't try it.
Yes. Don't get amnesia.
Okay, next one.
Okay, it's what a relief. What a relief. Relief. Okay, it's like a sentence. Yeah, it's like a sentence or a phrase. Or Okay, and what it means when there is something that makes you anxious or worried, like a problem. When this problem disappears, you can say, "Oh, what a relief."
Ah.
Okay, and I made some sentence. The first one is, Their pet was lost for 2 days. When it came back home, everyone was like, whew, what a relief.
True.
And next one, I just realized something. The teacher say she's going to have a quiz today, and I didn't prepare for it. However, because we ran out of time, she didn't have a test in the end. What a relief!
That's very lucky.
Yeah.
It's happened to me too sometimes. For homework.
Yeah, it's like I'm brushed with death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close call with death.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, it's thoughtlessly. And this is an adverb and it means to do something in a way that you don't think much or you don't consider how your actions or words may upset someone else. So, for example, my ex-boss is always saying or doing things thoughtlessly, and it affects not only the internal employees but also makes the external image have like a bad fame towards the company. Then we also made the sentence of, I don't think that's the most appropriate way to discuss this. You will not talk thoughtlessly anymore. Otherwise, I'm definitely not going to say a word with you. Sounds so serious, so scary.
Wow, yeah. It's a warning.
Yeah, a warning.
Yeah. All right. Next is number 5. I was wondering. Okay. When you are considering or thinking about something and you want to ask others something, you could say it as opening. I was wondering, blah, blah, blah. Okay. For instance, I was wondering how much money that single game workers earns in the year. Can anyone tell me about that? And then next is, I was wondering how some writers can do their normal jobs but still maintain their qualities of works or writings.
Yeah, that's very admirable. Okay, next one. So this next one is also a phrase or a saying, and this is to look down on someone. So this can be applied to you or to someone else, and this is to think that that person is worse or inferior, like on a lower level to you. So for example, when you say, oh, when I grow up to be a billionaire, nobody will look down on me for not being able to afford a single meal or stuff like that. Okay.
Next one is opponent. Okay, that means a person on opposing side. A rival?
On your opposing side.
Oh, opposing side. A rival?
Okay. A rival, yeah.
A rival.
Usually it's like someone who's evil, like the bad guy and the hero. The bad guy is the opponent. And actually, a very new Gen Alpha slang comes from this word. They just say op, like OPP. And when someone says, oh, you're an op, usually they use it jokingly, but they say, oh, it means like, oh, you're my enemy or something like that. It's something the little kids say nowadays. They keep telling me, oh, you're my op. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Wow, you're my op. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, for instance, I never met an opponent in a running game for the past 15 years until I went to senior high school to meet her, my lifetime opponent.
Dun dun dun. Oh yeah, it's like in the manhwa, like Princess Lily has to face a lot of different opponents because everybody thinks she's a thug. But then it turns out she's not because she switched bodies with a real thug.
Yeah.
So she has a lot of opponents, a lot of enemies in her new school. So the next one, the last one, it's also another phrase, and this is to go into shock. To go into shock is when somebody is frightened to an extreme. Usually they will be left speechless or they will like freeze for a second. Like, like that. So, for example, you can say most people panic or get stuck when they go into shock. Or a parent went into shock when they were told their son was suspicious because of murdering someone. I would go into shock too if somebody told me that my son killed someone. I'd be like, wow.
Yeah. Even though just, oh, please knock my door and tell me, oh, you're suspicious because we thought you killed someone, you murdered someone.
Yes, that's always scary.
Yeah, I'm going to
I'd be crying,
shock.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be, Mom, come for me, please, Mommy.
Yeah. Help me out.
Okay, now once we're done with our vocabulary, let's talk about our opinions on the manhwa, on Princess Hurricane. So for me, for example, I think it was such a funny webtoon. Like, every single chapter was very ridiculous. A little bit of a spoiler, but the main character, the red-haired thug, he actually helps out Princess Lily a lot. And it's very funny to see how he switches up from being a thug to being a really nice person, because in front of Princess Lily, he pretends to be like, oh, we're all peaceful, we're all friends. But once they step outside the classroom, it's like he turns on his thug mode and then punches them. It's just so funny. So that's also why I recommended it to Chingu. I also recommended it to my friends, but they don't want to listen to me. So sad. Yes.
Sad.
So thank you, Chingu, for reading it. Yeah. Okay. Now, Chingu, what were your thoughts?
Okay, my thought is like, I have always loved reading comics since I was a child. From Japanese black and white manga to recent Korean color webtoons. And today I'm recommending a funny comic drawn by the Korean artist. Drawn by a Korean artist. Oh, okay. And this is my first time reading a comic entirely in English.
Oh, first time.
Yeah, first time. And it feels really fresh and exciting because it includes vocabulary words I have learned from Last 21, like amnesia. There are also many words I haven't seen before, but I can guess their meanings from the pictures or context. I'll guess first and then check the dictionary. And it turns out my guesses are often correct. Yeah, it's really satisfying when I get it right.
Yeah.
There are also many words I have seen and learned before, but I have never used them myself, like written them or rarely used them in my own writing. So when I actually need to use them, I can't remember them at all and just end up using the few words I already know well.
Baby words. Yeah.
But there's exactly why we have our podcast or live stream classes. So we need to practice. Tingle practice English and Ivory practice Chinese, practice Taiwanese Mandarin. Yeah. If I were to travel to another world and lose my memory at the same time.
Amnesia.
Yeah, forgetting who I am, I would desperately. Oh, desperately. Well, it's so hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
Desperately.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult.
Desperately. And I would desperately want to find the truth. Like who am I, and why did I travel through time and space, and what should I live for, and what should I strive for? I would need to rediscover myself.
Me too. I feel like if I ever exchanged bodies with someone or I got amnesia, I would also be very curious as to who I am or things like that. But I feel like on a lot of webtoons, we see the whole genre of isekai, where somebody dies and they go into a story. I feel like if I ever die and go into a story, like in Princess Hurricane, I would die in that story because I have read too many stories. I will not remember which of all the stories this is. I would be very lost. But okay, let's end it for today. Let's wrap it up and call it a day. So thank you for watching. This is Shuu 滑了一跤到台湾，滑了一跤离开台湾。
没错
Shuu slip away from Taiwan.
Yeah. 我是
I am Ivory.
对，我是倾古。
OK， 今天就结束了。
没错，今天就结束啦。那我们就跟大家下个星期一同一时间见面了。虽然每次都会有点小晚一点，但是没关系，虽迟但到，好吗？虽然晚了，但还是会来的。该来的还是会来的，没错。所以下个星期一跟大家再次见面啦。那我们就拜拜喽，See you。